Hello and good morning, everybody. My name is Chris Clement. I'm the Executive Director of Engagement and Enterprise Projects with the Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency. Today, we will be providing an update on the current wildfire situation that is impacting communities within the province. Feel free to record, cut clips, and quote today's call as needed, but please do not live stream this briefing. We are recording the call, and it will be available later today on the SPSA YouTube channel and Facebook page. Joining us is the Honorable Michael Uyghur, Minister responsible for the Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency. The Minister will provide an operational update, and then we will turn it over to the media for questions. Please be advised that we will take our last question at approximately 11:30 a.m. With that, I can provide a brief update on the provincial wildfire situation. There are currently 11 active wildfires in the province as of 9:30 this morning. 4 are listed as contained, 4 are not contained, 2 are listed as ongoing assessment, and 1 is listed as protecting values. Okay, with that, I will now move things over to Minister Uyghur to provide an operational update.
Yeah, thank you, Chris, and appreciate everything the SPSA is doing to provide me the information I have at my fingertips here so that I can provide this update again this morning. I am still in Larange at the fire protection base here, and we are currently monitoring, as Chris mentioned, 11 incidents, but there are 2 major fires having a notable impact on the province right now. And the first major fire is the Lobstick Fire, which is located northwest of Saskatoon. It is currently at approximately 19,000 hectares and is not contained. Again, the SPSA defines a fire as not contained when suppression action is taking place, but the fire is still expected to grow in size, and weather conditions will have a major impact on that. This Lobstick Fire was reported to the agency on Tuesday, and the SPSA crews were dispatched within 20 minutes to the fire, and they've been actively working the fire since that time. Today, SPSA staff will continue constructing dozer lines along the eastern and northern flanks of the south side, working toward the North Saskatchewan River. Crews will also be building helicopter landing pads along the eastern flank and will be laying hose lines to extinguish the hotspots. On the north side of the river, the SPSA will be building a dozer line heading east towards the North Saskatchewan River to help prevent the fire from advancing towards an important transmission line. Helicopters will continue applying fire gel along that transmission line for added protection as well. The SPSA will also continue setting up value protection around the community of Holbein. Crews on the western flank of the fire will continue using wildland fire units with support from local fire departments to control and suppress the fire along the forest edges. They will also assist the SPSA with fire line operations. Today, the SPSA is also receiving a second Q400. This Q400 is coming from the federal government. It's expected to arrive in Prince Albert today, and we have already received the heavy helicopter from the federal government, and it's based out of Prince Albert as well. The significant efforts of our staff and local fire department have resulted in minimal loss of values. So no homes or any significant infrastructure have been lost to this Lobstick Fire. And the RM of Shellbrook has approximately 130 individuals evacuated, and an evacuation alert remains in place for the community of Holbein. I'll also speak to the Kayford Fire, which is located south of Red Earth Cree Nation. This fire is currently under 10,000 hectares in size. It's approximately 2.5 kilometers south of Highway 55. And both Red Earth and Shoal Lake are working with the Canadian Red Cross on evacuations. The SPSA has crews, equipment, and aircraft actively battling this fire since it started on May 26th. Now, I want to take the opportunity to sincerely thank the SPSA crews, the emergency response staff, and operators that are right there on the front lines of these wildfires. At the Lobstick Fire, we also have Shellbrook Fire and Rescue, Buckland Fire and Rescue, along with SPSA staff, continuing to work in collaboration to fill any resource needs, provide support, and mobilize when necessary. I thank them all for their courage, resilience, and unwavering commitment to protecting homes, lives, and property. I also wish to recognize the strong leadership of the municipalities and RMs that have been impacted, as well as the leadership of the Red Earth Cree Nation and the Shoal Lake Cree Nation, whose members have been and are in the process of evacuating. During the past few days, all of these leaders have been extremely busy answering calls, coordinating teams, and making sure their residents have the information they need. This level of leadership is a source of comfort and stability for so many, especially during these times of uncertainty. To our emergency crews, career volunteer firefighters, and community leaders, thank you for your service and for your sacrifice. Your efforts do not go unnoticed. Again, thank you all on the front lines, behind the scenes, working diligently in this coordinated effort across our province against these wildfires. Thank you all. And I would also encourage the members of the public and media to continue following and sharing the SPSA's social media posts on Facebook and through YouTube. We'll be doing everything we can to keep everyone updated on the fire situation in between these media updates. Back to you, Chris.
Thank you, Minister. Before we go to questions, I do want to reinforce the Minister's comments around staying informed. Please download and use Sask Alert along with your community's communication platforms for the latest information. I will remind residents in affected areas to ensure that they choose the location nearest them in the Sask Alert app in order to receive those emergency alerts. Each day, the SPSA does post its situational update on its website. You can find that at the top of any page on its website in the yellow bar. Okay, with that, we will now move it over to media for questions. Please use the raised hand function to ask your question. Please also identify yourself and which media outlet you are with. Okay, Tina, I see you are first. Go ahead, please.
Hi, good morning. I was wondering if you could tell me whether or not the SPSA would have crews on any of the other wildfires that are burning in our province right now.
Oh, yes, absolutely, Tina. We're really in my update. I'm highlighting the two major fires that we have, but the other fires, I'm actually, as mentioned, at the L'Orange Fire Base, and we've got a helicopter behind me. They've been loading equipment in, and actual crews going out, I believe, in the near future here. So there are other fires that they're addressing, and that's an ongoing effort. We're actually quite fortunate with the low number of fires in the province right now that we've been able to allocate such a response down to the two fires, Cayford and Lobstick. But absolutely, there'd be crews dispatched throughout the province addressing other fires, and as lightning comes through, they're monitoring those. And yesterday when I was here, we had crews going out on surveillance, checking on a few situations as well. I think it's also important on this point to mention how important it is that the public are remaining diligent and being fire smart about their behaviors and being very, very careful during these extreme conditions so that we do have the resources available to allocate to two very serious fires right now.
Thank you. And I think I forgot to say that I was from PA now. Sorry about that. The other question I have this morning is I'm looking out my kitchen window right now, and it's quite windy in Prince Albert. Can you explain just maybe not necessarily how the wind is going to cause you problems, but more so how quickly fire can move? Just kind of for the people who don't know, we've covered fires before as journalists, so we understand that there's, fires can actually jump crews in some cases that are driving, on location if they're candling at the top of trees and ashes are flowing and it's super tinder dry. But just for our readers, can you explain sort of how that happens and I guess the science behind how quickly a fire can move?
Sure. Well, I've been lucky to be up here at the fire protection base, having continuous conversations with staff working here, and I'm learning every day more and more about this as well. And then we've been having our regular internal updates, which are a very good source of knowledge for myself to be a part of. Something that SPSA has continually done throughout the years. Of course, they're doing it last year as well. But these internal updates, we have some of the experts on the line from the Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency explaining what is happening and what they're seeing. And just to give you an example, wind is one factor, but also the material that fire is burning through is a factor as well. Over on the Cayford fire yesterday, that fire moved quite a good distance. I believe it was around 11 kilometers, but it was some old fire area that so it burned previously and had some new growth in it, and just the different makeup of that material allowed that fire, and along with wind conditions, to really move through faster. And then it meets a ridge, where I found out that when a fire gets to a ridge, sometimes the ridge slows it down. So it's all about the terrain, what type of material that fire is going through, and of course wind direction, an important factor as well. Over on the Lobstick yesterday, we had a little bit of rain touch on that fire, and so you think that's a good thing, and it is, of course, but also came with some lightning. So we had some crews that had to get out of the way of that, and some of the aerial assets had to back off while that thunderstorm went through. So many factors, moisture in that situation, that impact that fire moving as well. So the experts at the SPSA, they have to monitor all of that and then try to do their projections on where's this fire going, where can we angle it with resources, and make sure that we're staying on top of that, hour by hour.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. Thank you, Minister, for that. We will move it over to Jacob. You're next, please.
Hi, Jacob Bamhauer with 980 CJME. I'm just wondering, do you guys have the distance of these fires to the closest community by chance?
I can touch on the Cayford fire I mentioned in my initial response there, that it's 2.5 kilometers south of Highway 55. So that's the information I have on that. I don't have specifics on where the fire is in relation to Holbein at this time, but Chris, you may have that on hand.
No, actually, I don't. But Jacob, we will follow back with you on that information.
Awesome, thank you. And do you have the amount of evacs from the Cayford fire by chance?
Yeah, I can speak to that. We don't have the total number. Again, we're in contact with the Canadian Red Cross. I believe I'll have a number updated to me at a internal meeting at 7 p.m. tonight. Their Red Earth Cree Nation, I believe, was about 150 individuals left to be evacuated from there. And then on Shoal Lake, they were looking at buses to complete the P1s today. Yesterday, the approximation was about 1,200 evacuees from
Awesome.
the
Thank you
two
so much.
First Nations. Yeah.
Jacob, did you have a follow-up?
I guess have the conditions improved at all?
Well, I guess that's a difficult question. I mean, there's so many conditions. So some conditions have improved, but then the wind seems like it's stronger today in Prince Albert. So difficult question, to specify, which conditions have improved. My understanding from the update this morning is that, relative humidity is fairly low, and so that's a difficulty as well. And then we've got the wind picking up today. There's some hope in the forecast for some better conditions, but still, again, quite high heat down in that area. So really difficult conditions for these fires and for the people fighting them right now.
Thank you, Minister. We'll do another call here for questions. I'm not seeing any hands raised. Okay, I think we'll call it then. Thank you so much for attending. I will remind you that this will be available.
Jacob just got in under the wire.
All right,
Sorry,
Jacob,
guys.
go ahead.
I was just wondering the process of updating the alert system. I saw yesterday kind of like it was a red alert then went to yellow, but the expanded the area near the I think it was the lobstick fire. So can you just kind of let me like go through kind of how the app works and kind of just what's the process of updating it if you guys have that here?
I think Chris might have some information on that to assist you.
Yeah, I don't know the specifics. I can't tell you the specifics around the evacuation update for yesterday, but we do work with local community to ensure that they have the ability to update alerts if and when they need it. And the SPSA also has the ability to update alerts if and when we need to as well. So communities are trained to update Sask Alert if and when needed.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
Problem. Okay, if there's no other questions, we'll conclude for today. And like I said, this availability will be made available on our YouTube page and Facebook page later this afternoon. Thank you so much. Take care.